Hi, I'm Gina Tabrizy, and I am so excited today to be able to talk to you about psychodrama. Yeah, most people don't get excited to say or to do something called psychodrama. And I want to explain it to you because it's ancient. It was founded in the 1930s by Jacob Moreno, who was a psychiatrist, and he came up with this brilliant idea back then that if people could move through their problems and focus on creating new and innovative ways to deal with those problems, they could move through them more quickly. And if they rehearse them as they were going on an adventure to figure out, how do I want to do this differently, and they could rehearse that it would stay with them a lot longer. So psychodrama was founded as a group form of psychotherapy, but it took place on a stage, on a literal stage with lighting and everything. And it pulled from the art of drama to use role playing and role playing exercises for people to be able to change. Change is so difficult for all of us. We get stuck and entrenched in our thinking and our stinking thinking and the ways we do things, and we keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So what Moreno did was he created a stage and threw in scenarios where you had to spontaneously come up with how you were feeling, what you wanted to do different, how you were going to do it different, or just react to people, places, and things that you had felt stuck in. So in a typical psychodrama at New Directions for women, when I come into the room with the women and the women come in together, we form the group. And as the group, there's always a star in psychodrama. So the lead role in the psychodrama, that person who chooses to do the work, becomes the central figure in that drama, okay? And they're known as the protagonist. And so when they are invited in to do this work, they often come with a problem, just like if you go to a therapist or a counselor, or you go to your sponsor and you go, hey, I'm so pissed off at so-and-so, I can't even deal. So if they come in the room with a certain thought or process or an event that they want to work on, then the drama unfolds around that problem. You start as the director, which is the therapist setting the stage, you start creating a scene that looks like what they're thinking in their head. And it's amazing. If you think about sitting at home and watching a movie, and you're not doing anything and you're not part of the story, but all of a sudden you're in tears because that star, that protagonist, is telling your story. And something inside of you, sometimes it's conscious, you're really aware of it, and sometimes on a deeper level, you're not even aware of some grief or anger or resentment or hurt that you're holding on to. But when that actor acts it out for you, everything inside of you breaks free and open, and you're flooded with tears. I know it's happened to you. The first movie that comes to my head is The Green Mile. I don't know why, but so that's ancient for me. That's a memory that I recall of having grief that somehow revealed itself on that stage in Shawshank Redemption. So I apparently have an issue with prison-themed movies, okay? So I'm going to work on that. So, but what it is the feeling of being trapped, and that's a universal feeling that we all identify in. So if someone, truly one of our clients came in and they had that literal experience of having just gone to prison because they had charges because of a drug offense, which is very, very common. When in the world of addicts and alcoholics, when you keep doing that same thing and you don't get into recovery, ultimately it's institutions that are going to find you. So if you have that experience, you could act it out in a psychodrama. You could come in with the memory of, I still remember when that police officer cuffed my hands. And I'm not saying this is everybody's story, and I'm not saying every addict goes to jail, but it is very known that if you stay on that path of harm and self-destruction and breaking laws and offenses, you might wind up there. And that's traumatic, and you need to work through it. For other addicts and alcoholics, their theme story is just hitting the wall where they lose everything, their bottom, they lose their family, they lose their home, they're living on the streets, the ultimate despair. And in a psychodrama, you can walk into a room and go, my God, I remember being homeless. And the experience I had one day when I woke up and realized I had nothing and I had lost everything. And I started to think about what's the purpose in me being here anymore, and those suicidal thoughts. So you literally take the hand of that addict or alcoholic in recovery, or someone who has some other traumatic issues, and then you take them to that park bench or that lawn or the back, wherever they were staying, somebody's sofa, wherever their story is, and you take them there and you invite them to tell the story. And while they tell the story, all of us become witnesses. Just like you sitting at home watching that movie, you're witnessing somebody's story of pain, and it immediately impacts you. So everyone in the room is now having a shared experience. And there's nothing more powerful than when we do anything together. And at New Directions, we emphasize that we are together. We are in this together. We are here to support. We are your community. We become a community of women for us healing and going in this journey. And that is symbolic of what happens in psychodrama every single time. We become part of that person's story, and we become part of their healing. We hold their hand while they're sobbing and remembering that tragic event, losing their child because custody was taken away because of this, losing their job, or maybe being humiliated because they were asked to leave because they were intoxicated, losing their marriage of 30, 40, even 50 years because their spouse can no longer be present to their addiction. So how does it impact them? It impacts them greatly because they now can forgive themselves. The story of psychodrama really is about forgiveness and love. Whatever your event is, whatever your trauma is, if you can be in the room with other people loving and supporting and accepting you, then maybe finally you can love, support, and accept yourself. There is no greater path to healing than self-forgiveness. And all I can say is that it is the most powerful tool I've ever used and will ever use, most likely. And I've been in this career for 34 years. And it took me on my own personal journey. And it's why I am so incredibly passionate about it. There is nothing like it. It is a very specialized type of therapy. And so New Directions for Women is very blessed that we still offer this. And it lives with the client through their journey. I can't tell you how often we hear that broke them free and opened up something inside of them, not because I did it, but because the room with the women and the support and the love and the acceptance around the tragic event did it. It changed them in a way that stays. It has that lasting power to stay throughout their treatment. They will recall and keep bringing back the experience they had of healing in that room, sharing their deepest, darkest secrets, and then being wrapped in love, supported and embraced by all of us, staff included, other clients included, and carry them through that experience and show them their resiliency. Psychodrama has this beautiful wave, and it's probably the last thing I'm going to say to you about it, but it's this wave where it starts with a warm up and then it goes to literally, it's called a climax, and then it comes down into a closure or a sharing. And so the patient feels the impact of being carried through this traumatic event. But on the other side of it is closure. It's not about re-traumatizing. It's not about opening a wound and leaving it open. It's literally about witnessing, looking at, holding the wound and nurturing it and healing it and allowing that person to be free of that wound so that they can then reclaim their place in humankind, to be a member of society, to be accepted, to be loved without all of the negative feelings and thoughts and things that they've told themselves about who they are, because that's what they went through. So I'm so grateful to you to be on this journey. If you came across this video, please like it. Please like the New Directions for Women's YouTube page. And please know that this came to you for a reason too, and maybe it's meant to be part of your journey. And I hope that you will take that invitation and continue to explore and to heal. Thank you.